Recent running times have strongly suggested being back on the brink of that most prized barrier, the double sub-20, a sub-40 10k. And after recently being invited to run at a local race series known as the Yateley 10k, the signs were pointing in the right direction for this to be that chance. The Yateley 10k is an annual series of 3 races, and of the 3, I chose to run number 2. But there was a problem. Race 2 just so happened to fall on one of the hottest days of the year. With just 2 times ever in my youth having broken through that sub-40 mark, this is a story about 2 men. Both in a battle with the English summer heat, one to try to run for the first time in years a sub-40 10k, the other to glide his way to victory in the most astonishing style. The thing to bear in mind about running the 10k today is that it's really hot for England. Currently 29 Celsius, and that means I've already applied sun cream, I'm going to have sunglasses on, and I'm going to be racing in a cap to keep a bit of shade on my face. But I'm aware that no matter what precautions I take, this is going to be a very warm run. Oh man. But before we get to Yateley 10k itself, we're heading to pick up a man who I think might just win this evening. His name is Joe Morwood. He's using the race this evening as a bit of a warm-up run. Having picked Joe up from his house, we continued to Yateley, soon finding ourselves at the entrance to the 10k race.
Car park left, this one.
And quickly discovered getting to our parking spot, it was remarkably well marshalled.
Thank you. Casually driver sending us in such weird direction. Where are we going? Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Then I saw a man I knew, Jim.
Hello, hello. How you doing, all right?
A keen runner and cyclist, not the only Jim I'd see that day, but more on that later.
Perfect. Cheers, Jim.
Walking to the start area, Joe and I discussed the run that awaited us before arriving to collect our race numbers. With an ambulance at the ready and even more marshals preparing to head to various spots on the course, Joe and I headed out for a 2-mile shakeout run, with me praying that he wouldn't be warming up at my race pace. Entrants were beginning to gather as myself and Joe returned from the 2 miles, me already beginning to sweat and Joe probably wondering how to get his heart rate above 20 beats per minute. One thing that was made all the clearer on that warm-up run, it was going to be remarkably muggy.
As you breathe the air in, it's really warm. Right, I'm going to go put my top on.
Yeah.
At registration, I'd been asked for an estimate of my finishing time, so because of the heat and the hills, slightly pessimistically, I'd said something
Vaguely in the low 40 minutes as my predicted time, and that meant they put me in wave 1. Great.
One last jog up the finishing funnel, it was time to race.
So I'll see you again at 5 kilometres and I'll grab the water off you. Yateley 10k, here we go.
With Joe calmly waiting near the front, hundreds of expectant runners stretched out behind the finishing arch.
That will signal the start of the race.
The countdown was about to begin.
We've got 15 seconds to go.
I glanced at the watch.
No, I can't run yet.
Okay, here we go then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Well done, everybody.
Wave 1 was off. Joe led the field out.
Well done, Joe.
With me following a few hours later.
Well done, Harry.
Grass soon turned to road.
Just seen Joe already separating away from the main group. He's already left them. He's probably shooting for about a 30 in this heat, maybe 31. That guy is a phenomenal runner.
Over my shoulder was a runner called James Shoulder. That's genuinely true. I'll tell you an interesting fact about James at the end of the race. As we steamed ahead, Shoulder passed me at the 1 kilometre mark.
3:51. A little bit quick, but still feeling all right considering the heat.
Cornering the roundabout, the road began to slope upwards.
Just going to try and get these first hills out of the way and then get a little bit of recovery on those downhills with some smooth, loose running. Whew, it is warm. 1800 metres in, this is where it starts to bite as the hill continues. 4:10 on that 2k marker to bring me back to around about a 4-minute K average. Trying but struggling to get it back under that 4-minute K mark. Just heard them say, lead runner on the walkie-talkie. Let's pray that's Joe.
Well done, Joe.
Chasing the lead car, it was.
Well done, Joe, looking good. Just chuck it if you want it.
Running at an incredible speed, Joe disappeared down the road.
I think it might be. He's got thighs like my torso, so I had a 4:04 for that 3rd kilometre. Yateley road race, runners this way. Thank you, cheers. Oh, just coming up to 4 kilometres. Back to a 3:51 for the 4th kilometre. That'll make a bit of a difference. Just trying to smooth up and relax on those downhills a bit. Hey, Marshall.
A few years after Joe, I also approached the 5 kilometre mark and a much needed drink.
That was a quick first 5k, and they pay for that. Okay.
Well done, Harry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I need the lid. Where's the lid?
I didn't actually catch the 5k mark as I was being handed water at the time. It was very close to that 20-minute mark. I think it was just inside. Thank you.
Fantastic, well done.
Crowds have died away, legs are burning. Thank you. Somehow a 3:57 there.
With 6k done, the pace was really starting to hurt.
With 4 kilometers to go, this is hurting a lot now.
And then the boost I needed.
Here he is, the man himself. Hi, Jim.
Jog On crew member Jim Laidlaw
That's the man. That's the man right there.
was there shouting his support in his Jog On top.
Jog on, Jim.
The 7th kilometre read,
4:03. This feels like death.
there's no way to sugarcoat it. 7 to 8 kilometres was absolutely horrendous.
Not looking good. 4:12, slowest kilometer so far.
Probably the worst I've felt in a race in a long time. And to make matters worse, the pace was slowly slipping.
Just past 8k, and it's only starting to go uphill again.
As I was dying somewhere out on the course at 8k, at the finishing area, a very hot Joe came flying into the finish.
Nice one. Well done, Joe, all the way through.
Number 2001, Joe Morwood. Well done, Joe. What a run.
What a run, indeed. Meanwhile, I felt like I'd just been hit by a bus.
Up to 4:25, and my legs are shot. Oh, it burns everywhere. Passing the 9k mark, 4:18. Oh God.
The slowest kilometre so far, but with 1,000 metres to go, as much as it hurt, I knew I had to keep pushing on.
Oh man, it's one of the hottest runs I can ever remember doing.
A brief relief came in the form of a group armed with water pistols.
Shoot me if you want, I don't mind. Oh.
As I tracked the pavement, lit by the last of the evening sun, I could barely hold the camera still in a final effort to get to the 10k mark.
Here we go.
Well done, Harry, last bit.
My legs were on fire, but it was so close. We'd made it, but
That was absolutely horrible.
the absurd heat and final hills of the course had got to me just a bit much this time to sneak under 40 minutes. But it was a very encouraging run that I was happy with.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I wanted to know how Joe had done.
He ran 32, so that's really good.
I'm assuming that won it.
Yeah.
If any of you remember the Jog On Virtual 5k, it was actually James that came in first place. What was your time just now?
38.53.
38.53. So you went past me about, I don't know, a kilometre in,
Yeah.
and I thought, I'll try and keep him in sight. And I had that for maybe a minute, and then I was like, is that James on the horizon? But yeah.
It was those hills though, those hills really get you.
I love that. Cheers, guys.
In case you needed more confirmation that it was a hot day, Graham demonstrates it pretty well here.
You really do run all right in the heat, don't you?
You say that, but honestly, if you watch the video back, you'll see I just go bleh at 7k.
Joe and I compared notes on how the race had gone for each of us. I asked him,
Did you peel away very early on?
Oh yeah. And I felt great.
Yeah.
Until I'm fine. 6k. I was just like, ooh, it's warm.
It was very warm.
Just started slowing down and it's looking
Douse yourself in water beforehand as well.
catching up with a couple of runners,
How hot was that? 40-50. 40-50.
Oh, I need to find Harry somewhere. I need to try and beat him. I can see him at all.
before pausing for a photo, then updating the father on the result.
Honestly, Dad, it's like the air is thicker. Joe won. He ran 32. Bye-bye. So a text has already come through saying, congratulations, Harry, on completing the Yateley 10K 2021 Race 2. Your time was 0 hours, 40 minutes and 49 seconds. Well done.
On one of the hottest days of the year, Yateley 10K had been put on successfully, thanks to some great organising, dedicated marshals and a superb, friendly atmosphere for racing. With many of us still getting used to the return of competition, that evening had served as a strong reminder of the power of races to push oneself past mental and physical barriers, feel respect towards one another for showing up to take on the course, and that in the end, we will come out the other side the better for having done it. The sub 40 approaches once more. If you get a chance to do a 10k in the heat, go cautiously, drink lots of water and enjoy yourself. This has been Yateley 10k. I'm Harry Morgan and this is Jog On. Joe, just like me, struggled a little in, I can't say just like me. We ran very similarly.
We ran similar races.